Okay, this is the first part of a tutorial in which I'll demonstrate how to get an instance of MDB up and running on an Amazon EC2 machine. MDB is an open source clone of SimpleDB database, and like I say, we're going to run it on an Amazon EC2 machine because it's the simplest to demonstrate and the simplest to get hold of. So I'm going to assume that you've got an Amazon account and that you have this piece of software, ElasticFox, running in your browser. ElasticFox runs in Firefox. If we go to this images pane, then in the images window put in AMI 1515F67C, and that is an Ubuntu 9.10 32-bit server machine. So here it is. If we right click on here and we say launch an instance of this MI, then up comes the launch new instances window. We're going to just accept the default. We're going to do an M1 small instance type. We just want one of these. So go down to the bottom, click the launch button. The ElasticFox window should switch over to the instances window, and here at the bottom you'll see our one that we've just fired up. It's in pending mode while it gets booted up and running. Once it's up and running, we'll see that it'll allocate a public DNS name to itself. Let's just try a refresh. The amount of time it takes to get an AMI up and running just depends on the time of day and a variety of things, the type of AMI. This one usually doesn't take too long. We just try again, another go, and there it is, it's up and running. And you'll see that it's allocated itself a DNS name, and we can grab hold of that by right clicking and selecting copy public DNS name to clipboard. Now I'm using Windows for this exercise, so I'm using a piece of software known as Putty, which is over here, and this will give me access to the running machine. So we're going to paste in the DNS name in there. Because it's an Amazon EC2 machine, we need to use our security key pair, which we put in over here. That's my key pair file. So this is the SSH auth selection here. Click open. We'll get a security alert, which say OK to, and now over here like this, we now have our Putty window, and we're connected to that EC2 machine. So now we log in with a name of Ubuntu. We won't need a password because it'll authenticate itself with our key pair, and there we are, we're in. Okay, so now we've got the EC2 machine up and running, we need to install the MDB software on it, and that's going to install MDB. It's going to install a database called GTM. It's going to install a whole pile of stuff that we can use for all sorts of things, but we're going to use it primarily for MDB. But this first part will show you basically how to get an MDB machine up and running. So the next thing to do is go to our website. That is www.mgateway.com. So let me just show you up here if we put that in. mgateway.com. That's our website. If you click on this MDB tab and then download MDB, then down here you'll see the MDB installer and how to apply it. So we're going to scroll that up to the top, and now all we need to do is cut and paste these various commands into our Putty window. So we'll grab the first one, and this just updates the apt software repository. In Putty, to paste, just right click your mouse, hit enter. enter. That update shouldn't take very long. There we go. Next command is a simple one. We'll just type it in. We want to cd to the temp directory, and now we want to go and get the installer file itself. Because it's on S3 storage, this usually doesn't take very long. There we are. Now we run step 1 of the installer. Paste this in. This again doesn't take very long, and you'll see that it finishes by saying errors were encountered while processing. Just ignore those errors, because they'll be resolved by this next step, which is this guy that we'll paste in. It asks us if we want to continue. We say yes, and it rips through a load of lines of stuff, setting up the MDB environment, setting up and configuring Apache and the GTM database, all kinds of stuff. And there we are, that's that done. The last step of the installation instructions is to delete the installer file itself. We're not going to bother with that because it's just an EC2 machine that we'll throw away anyway. And that's basically it. Let's prove that it's up and running. If we go back into the browser, and we'll go to Elecfox, and we'll grab that public DNS name again, and we'll bring up a new browser. Oops, sorry. We'll bring up a new browser window. Put that guy in, and there we are. MDB is up and running. If you get this screen, MDB is fully installed, everything's up and running and ready for configuration. Now at this stage, if you want to use stuff like the GTM database and the Python interface for it, then you've got everything now ready to go. If you want to use MDB itself as a database, you'll need to configure it, and we'll cover that in part 2 of the tutorial. That's it for now.